Emmy Award winner and LGBTQ2+ advocate Joanne Vannicola has recounted her very difficult childhood, her struggles with mental health issues, and her acting career in her debut memoir. All We Knew But Couldn't Say is a raw and honest survival story. And for more, Joanne is with us in studio. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
And happy Pride. I know that you were out there yesterday.
I was indeed, yes.
This is based off of your journals. It is raw, as we described. It describes abuse at both the hands of a mother and father. Why was it important to you to share such intimate details? And it's a hard read. But it's an important one because it's true, it happened.
Yeah, it did. It was important for me because when I was growing up, I didn't really have anyone to speak to and turn to, and I didn't realize that there were LGBTQ people who looked like me, or that there were girls who had experienced abuse in their home like I had. So I wanted to be able to write something that could transcend that and be a voice for other people who'd experienced violence in the home and also misogyny and homophobia in the culture.
Well, the violence and the abuse suffered in your home is shocking to read about. What stands out even more is the survival and where you have landed today. And I find people's survival stories fascinating because there's always a moment for people where they make a choice. And, you know, people land differently in this journey.
Yeah, I think I was saying earlier that that one experience we have as a child abuse survivors or something in the industry or as a lesbian in the culture, not one thing defines our identity. And I think it's important to kind of look beyond victimization and figure out how we function in the world and survive and how we create a better culture for other people. So that became really important to me as I aged and grew up and understood that I had a purpose larger than me, really.
Part of your journey and part of the success you landed at was, you know, you were playing in films and in TV shows. And in the 90s, you were playing a gay character at a time when, you know, it was, legalization wasn't fully manifested in some countries. And also, I mean, Ellen DeGeneres wasn't even out yet. So there you are, you're in like Love and Human Remains and in other productions playing an openly gay character. What was that like and how has representation changed? Where are we today?
Wow, that to me was an amazing moment because it felt like my high school prom in a way because I finally got to be, to represent who I was. And until that time, I'd never played a lesbian. I'd never really seen other Canadian actors, maybe one or two, or even Hollywood actors for that matter. There wasn't a lot of content for queer people. So for me, it felt like being inside myself fully, where prior to that, I hadn't.
And did you feel supported both on set and then when the movie came out?
Yeah, interestingly, it was hard for other people. They just assumed I was heterosexual, actually. And they would ask silly questions like, what's it like to play a lesbian? And you're like, oh my gosh. So there was a lot of things to field and deal with, but yeah.
How do you feel the industry has changed in terms of acceptance?
I think it's slowly changing, but I don't think we're there yet. I think we have a long way to go. I think that a lot of people are tokenized or stereotyped still, and I really hope that we find a way to blow that out so that there's more authentic representation for who we truly are.
This year we're marking 50 years since the Stonewall riots, which, if people aren't familiar, was a case in New York City where police raided an inn. And it's considered the moment that sparked vocal protests and the fight for gay rights. Where do you think Canada still needs to improve?
Well, I think
50 years ago.
Yeah, I think just because we have gay marriage doesn't necessarily mean that homophobia has ended or transphobia has ended. And I think we have to be really clear about things like sex education and healthcare and representation in government and other places. So I feel like there's a long way to go in that level.
Joanne, thanks for coming in today.
Thank you so much for having me.